Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and my kitchen. My name is Liz, where here I talk about all things related to kombucha. So today I wanted to do a quick video on what is a SCOBY and why do we need starter tea. If you know anything about kombucha, you probably already know that you need a SCOBY to brew. Along with the SCOBY, you need some starter tea. So what is a SCOBY? SCOBY stands for a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. I've also heard people say a symbiotic community or symbiotic colony. All those are right. So what exactly does that mean? So what that means is you have bacteria and yeast living together. They feed off of each other, they need each other to sustain life, and it's like a perfect harmony. So the yeast living in the starter tea and the SCOBY eat the sugar in the sweet tea to produce alcohol. The alcohol is then consumed by the bacteria. And that produces acetic acid, which is an organic vinegar. And this is what's meant by symbiotic. They're living together as one. So the bacteria also produces cellulose. And that's what forms at the top of the brew and acts as a protectant plug from keeping any unwanted organisms from getting in. So it's also interesting to note that the kombucha itself is the SCOBY as well. Because think about it. Symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. The kombucha has the bacteria, it has the yeast in it, it's living together. So you might be saying, well, why do we need the actual SCOBY? There are a lot of people that brew kombucha without the SCOBY, but hear me out on this. The SCOBY, so the biofilm, also has oxygen in it. So when you're using the SCOBY along with the starter tea, it's providing your brew with more oxygen. And when you want to give your brew the best possible condition. So how to care for your SCOBY. Always provide it with love. Give it a good environment. If you're going to touch it, make sure that you've washed your hands really good. You've rinsed all the soap off of it. If you take your SCOBY out to put in a bowl to get ready for your next batch, cover it. You don't want fruit flies getting in, laying larva eggs. If your SCOBY gets too big, you can pull it apart with your hands, cut it with scissors, or cut it with a knife. You don't need a big SCOBY to brew. You only really need a piece. The yeast that's in the SCOBY along with the oxygen, the bacteria and yeast that's in the starter tea someone gave you will all be enough to create the SCOBY, a new SCOBY. Most teas are going to produce a white opaque SCOBY. If you're looking to grow a real healthy, beautiful SCOBY, maybe you want to give it to a friend, I would recommend green or black. I think green grows the best SCOBYs. If you see something slimy, maybe it's green, it might be brown on your SCOBY, it's fine, that's the yeast. The first time, when I first started using green tea, it was like a few days into the brew and I looked and there was this long string, it was green from the top to the bottom. I was freaking out, thought I had mold, dumped it, and then I decided to look it up. Wish I would have did it the opposite way, but I come to find out it was just yeast. Perfectly fine. That brings us to the next topic of mold. I've never had mold before. It doesn't happen that often, but it happens enough, so people can experience it. So I'm going to give you a few tips, some things you can do to prevent yourself from getting mold. But before I do that, I just want to say, if you think you have mold, please look it up on Google. There's lots of different pictures that you can look at. One of the surefire ways to tell is if it's fuzzy. It can be white, black, green. So just look it up first. Also note, right underneath the SCOBY skin, sometimes yeast will build up. So it could be yeast. So make sure you check, is it on top or is it underneath? If it's on top, it could be mold. If it's on the bottom, it's probably yeast. So here's some tips I have for preventing mold. Make sure you're using strong starter tea. It's going to change the pH level to be acidic so that mold can't grow. When you're steeping your tea, don't let it sit out too long. Now, I've let my tea sit for at least a day, but I had it in the refrigerator. I looked this up recently. From what I read, mold doesn't start to grow until 24 hours. Listen, I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to drink mold on accident. I don't want to mess up my SCOBY. So if it's going to be out for more than 5 or 6 hours, you might just want to pop it into the refrigerator until you have time to finish the process. Another tip is don't leave your kombucha brewing next to fruit, bread, or plants. Mold spores are everywhere and they can be picked up from different things. So you're going to increase your chances of your kombucha getting contaminated if you have those things around your brew. So I just recently learned about this one. I didn't know about this, but wooden spoons can cause mold. So if you have a wooden spoon that you use, but you only use it for ferments, you should be okay. If you use it for cooking, you might want to toss that or just get something else. If you keep a SCOBY hotel and you put it in the fridge and you're going to use something from your SCOBY hotel, give it time to sit room temperature for at least a week, so that, because what happens is the bacteria and the yeast will go dormant. So leave it out for a little while, let them wake back up, revive themselves before you use it in some sweetened tea. After you've been brewing kombucha for a while, you're gonna start having a lot of SCOBYs built up. So what are some things you can do with them? First, and this is probably what most people do, is you can give them to a friend. Make sure you give them good starter tea. They can be composted. Some people feed them to their chickens. Some plants like SCOBYs, you might want to look it up. Some of them don't. If you do use SCOBY on your plant, make sure you put it on the soil and that it's not touching the actual plant. You can make a SCOBY hotel. You can add them to smoothies. Take a piece off, add it to a smoothie. Or you can even use it for a face mask. I've did that many times. If you do use it for a face mask, just know that SCOBYs actually hold a lot of the liquid. So you can either squeeze it out, or when you lay it on your face, make sure you have a towel around you because it's going to drip down. It has it acts as an astringent, and it's a nice treat for yourself. Let me know in the comments if you use it for a face mask. I'd like to know if you like that. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've been shooting for over an hour. I'm really tired. Sorry for all the bloopers. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you leave a comment, I will definitely get back to you. Please give me a like if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing. If you have anything you want me to test out or try, please leave a comment and I will definitely look into it. Have a great day.